Are you doing a no buy January? Are you going to join the millions of people in this country doing no buy January? Are you thinking about it? Maybe you will, maybe you'll give it a try. If you're thinking of doing a no buy January and your plan is to just stop spending, that's why most people fail. That's why most people can't even get past day 4. No buy January doesn't fail in January. It fails before January even starts. So if you're thinking of doing the no buy January, here's how you prepare so it actually works. If you get anything, any nugget from this video, all I ask is to hit the thumbs up so we can grow this channel. My name is Loveth. This is Money Conversations, where we know wealth is not the flex, management is. First of all, you have to be locked in. You have to be committed to do it. It can't be a maybe, I'll try, see how it goes. It can't be that. You might as well just not even start because you were 99.9% not going to be able to do it. This is one of those things you have to actually get mentally into it to be able to stick with it through 30 days. And it's not a punishment. It's not this super hard thing to do like some people pin it out to be. It's very doable. But if you're not mentally locked in and committed to do it, you're going to give in within the next, by week 2, week 3, when no spending gets old. It needs to be a challenge you're ready to, conquer. Of course, it's easier to get locked in when you know what you're doing it for. What is your motivation? Why do you want to get this done? If you're just jumping on it because it's now a trend, I can tell you right now, by week 2, you're out. So what is your motivation? For me, it's about the amount of money I'm going to save. I've always seen January as the easiest month to save. I discussed it in this video. We just now have a fancy name for it called the no buy January. But for me, when I take a look at how much I get to hold on to because I'm not buying all the extras, that alone is enough motivation to keep me going, because I know if I can't save in January, when else? This is the easiest month to chuck a good chunk of money away, right? So find your reason, know your why. You need to have a reason. It can't just be because everyone is doing it. This is cool. You need to have a reason. And then define what no buy means. The fastest way to quit is being vague or not planning out what exactly it means to you. Now, there's so many different versions of this no buy. Some people think it's strictly just your essentials, i.e. your rent, your mortgage, your utilities. But then the question comes in, how about subscription? Is that essential? Because your Netflix is not essential. So do you cut off Netflix for a month, or do you cut off your Paramount for a month? What exactly is it? Now, here's a general rule, because I know there are different versions out there. You're paying for your essentials. This will be your mortgage, this will be your prescription, your rent, your utility bills, your credit card minimum payment. Make it simple. And the simple rule is, unless it's needed to survive. Netflix is needed to survive. I'm not canceling a Netflix subscription because it's just for 1 month. We're not doing that. My non-essentials would be eating out. McDonald's, that's where my kids like to go. Ordering in pizza, shopping, anything on Amazon is non-essential. So spell out what your essentials are. It makes it a lot easier throughout the month to make the decision of to buy or not to buy, because things come up, For instance, your mouthwash runs out. That's an essential. But your eyeshadow runs out when you have another eyeshadow palette. That's not an essential. Make use of the other eyeshadow palette. It may not be your favorite, but guess what? That's what the no buy challenge is all about. It's a way to also make you rethink your spending habits, to make you use what you have, make do with what you have, rather than what we're typically used to, which is, I'm out of my favorite eyeshadow palette, and so here you go buying another one. Whether or not you realize this, spending fills our time. Spending is what we do for fun, especially if you're a millennial. What do you think we were doing to our minds when our hangout and fun time was at the mall? The mall is now our Amazon. The mall is now TikTok. Spending is honestly how we pass time and how we have fun. So we need to come up with ways to have fun without spending. We need to come up with a replacement for this major activity you are no longer going to do. Even if you think, I'll be fine. Remember, no buy January does not fail in January. It fails before January starts because you fail to plan and prepare. Even if you think I'll be fine, I'm not a big spender, you still want to come up with things you will do for fun or things you will do to while away time instead of spending. When you feel that need to spend, or when you feel that void that you are going to feel because you're not spending, what are you going to do to fill in time, especially on weekends? Evenings during the week, I think during the week we have a schedule going, and it gets dark, at 5. It's a lot easier for us to not spend, watch your Netflix, and that's it. But the weekends, go out Friday night, Saturday you do window shopping, we need to come up with an activity to replace that. I'll tell you right now, for me, decluttering is my activity in January. Decluttering is what keeps me focused and busy. So that's it for me. And it's a lot easier for me to stay home because it's cold season. Once it's cold and I'm home, getting me out is super hard. So I don't even have to worry about going out. It's this that I have to put a replacement for, and that's where reading comes in. Reading can really replace the endless scrolling that you do. Going out for a walk, if you're in a place with good weather, we're in Nebraska, today's winter, tomorrow is summer, and so it depends on the day. I may be able to go for a walk, I may not, but that's another idea. The library is a good resource. You can get a lot of games for families. You can do different games every weekend, or rather than going out to eat, or come up with a project that you need to get done. I always say, because I know we all have this project, getting the pictures on your phone organized, the phone, the cloud, organizing your pictures, going through, getting rid of the other 19 versions of the same picture. That is a great project to keep you away from spending or wanting to spend or wanting to order in. Speaking of ordering in, because that's where a lot of us spend, and that is really the most difficult part of the no spend challenge or the no buy January. No more Uber Eats, no more DoorDash, no more fast food or ordering in. What are you going to do? You need to plan for that. If you're thinking of just leftovers, the reason why most of us order in is not because we don't have leftovers, it's because we want something different. So pick a good, I would say good frozen meal, a good leftover, right? For instance, when you go to the grocery shop, wings are always a great one. For me anyway, wings will do it because it's great. So either way, come up with your plan for those moments when you need DoorDash, when you really want to order in because you don't want to cook. I know for me, cooking is not my favorite thing to do. I cook because I have to. And so what is the plan for those Friday evenings you do not want to cook? It would be foolishness to be locked in, to mentally be focused, and then keep your triggers around. Your triggers could be the channels you watch, or the movies you watch. I don't know what movie will make you want to spend, but it could be. Or going window shopping. No, I'm not going to buy. We're just going to walk around the mall. We're just going to walk around the shopping plaza. Or, I'm just going to watch this haul, this Temu haul, or whatever haul it is you watch. Or I'm just going to watch this new makeup technique video. It would be foolishness to think you were so strong that you're going to have your triggers around. Get rid of them. Be it email, post-holiday, the stores know no one is shopping. So they're going to really be enticing with those ads, with those sales, right? So maybe block that for a month or silence that for a month, unsubscribe or turn off your notification for those channels. I mean, YouTube doesn't even bring you your subscribe channels anyway. Maybe for the month of January, select not interested on the haul videos so you're not tempted to buy. As strong as you think you are, just continuous chip at that desire not to spend, and eventually come week 3 you'll end up spending, especially when you're at your weak moment where you've gone 3 weeks without a single new outfit, not a single new gadget, fun trinket. You're going to be in your weak moment. Get rid of your triggers, whatever it may be. Some people are not going to like this part because this no buy challenge, some people have taken it so personal, and there's some purists when it comes to this movement or this challenge. They think any variation of the plan is false and that means you're not doing the challenge. Rubbish. Listen, the goal of this challenge is to save money. It is not to frustrate you or to get you to resent life. You know your situation, you know how life works for you. And so it is okay to have exceptions. Exceptions are exceptions because they are not the rule, right? I'll break it down for you using myself as an example. When we order McDonald's or pizza, it's usually Sunday afternoon on our way back from church. We go to the drive-thru or we order pizza. I know the reality is 4 Sundays in a month, and depending on how January runs, it may be 5 Sundays. I am not. There will come at least 2 Sundays where I can't do it. I can't. So I am giving myself the exceptions that we are allowing at least 2 Sunday afternoons where we can go through drive-thru or ordering pizza. It does not mean I am not doing the challenge. It does not mean I have broken the challenge, because before the challenge even started, I made this the exception. I made this the allowed rule. Now, I'm not allowing us to order food every week or order food every day. It is not the rule, it's the exception, just because I know the reality is this is going to be needed, because my goal in January is not just to save money, it's also to make sure that Loveth does not put herself to a point where she resents the whole thing and then gives up and then goes, you know what, fine, I couldn't do it. When you've made room for the exception and the exception happens, you're still in the game, right? So know what it is for you. What is your exception? Anticipate your weak moments and plan for it. You know how life goes. You know how your days go, how your weekends go. What do you foresee to be the most difficult part of this challenge, and have a plan for it? The most difficult part for me is the food, the cooking part of it, right? And I already have something in place for it. We're going to make sure the meals we make this week are easy meals, right? We're not going to have any complicated new recipe, whatnot, unless I'm in the mood, then sure. But the goal is to make sure the menu for this month, week after week, are easy menus and meals that the kids like, because nothing drives you up the wall like you make something and then they don't want to eat it and now they're snacking all over the place. And so we're keeping it simple when it comes to the menu for the month. What is it for you? That's just for me as a stay-at-home mom. That's my job, right? What do you anticipate as the most difficult part for you? I think for a lot of people, it's just going to be the social aspect of spending, going out together. It's easy the first week because we're coming out from the holiday spending and the holiday joy and partying and get-togethers. But after a week of no spending and no potlucks at work, you'll be surprised how you have spending withdrawals. The good thing about this challenge is that it forces us to go back to how it used to be before we were convinced we had to spend for fun or we had to spend for joy. What some people do for things that they need during the month but cannot buy or should not be buying is the no-buy community. Facebook has no-buy community that for pretty much every area now, where you join the group, is free, and you guys trade. So someone would list something they don't want, and if it's something you want, you stop by wherever it is and get it for free. Vice versa, if you're decluttering, if you're like Loveth in January, most of us declutter in January, then you list what you don't need, you no longer need, and you could trade it for something you need, or just list it out there for others in the community to use. Now, I personally haven't had a good luck with this group because one, they never seem to have what I need. Or maybe I'm just too picky. They never seem to have what I need. And then when they do have what I need, before I get to it, someone else has gotten to it, because I don't let social media send me notification. Facebook, YouTube, whatnot. I don't allow notification on my phone. So by the time I actually go in there and see someone post something that I need, someone else has already gotten to it. So for me, if say an appliance breaks down, that's part of necessity. If my microwave breaks down, I'm going to replace it. Replacing what is essential is not a non-essential. That's an essential, and I'm okay for spending. But for everything else, you could try that. That has been, a lot of people have had good luck on it, right? So especially in the month of January, where a lot of people are going to be decluttering, you may actually see things you want, and this may be a good way to, the spending itch, because you're not spending. you're actually getting something for free. You're getting a new top or the new bag or the whatnot for free. For some of us, you will have a weak moment and you will buy. You will buy on something that is non-essential. It will happen for some of us, is the reality. When that happens, you're going to get back up and keep going. Whether or not it happens January 2nd, January 15th, or January 17th, you are going to get over it and keep going. You're not going to throw in the towel and go, well, I've already messed it up. No, because listen, once again, the goal is to save the most that you can. And it also goes beyond just saving. It gives you awareness of your spending habits, awareness of your spending behaviors, your spending triggers, the underlying factor of your spending habits. So the fact that you failed one day does not mean throw away the other 15 days or the other 2 days you've done it and let's just move on, unless you're looking for a reason to not continue. But if you're seriously locked in, like we discussed, and you're seriously committed to doing it, if you have a weak moment one time, move on. Figure out why that happened. Put something in place to avoid that. If that means uninstalling Amazon from your phone, then do it. You can install it back in February, and we'll discuss February because that's my apprehension with this whole thing, but we'll discuss that later on in the month. Uninstall Amazon and you'll install it back in. Uninstall TikTok and you'll install it back in February. It's just for a month. But regardless, some of us will have a weak moment and we're going to give into it. When that happens, remind yourself, it's not perfection. Keep going. Get back up and keep going. Don't know by January. It's actually doable. It's not that difficult to do. If you see it as this huge mountain and this huge task that is so hard to complete, then it's already conquered you before you start. Have the mentality of it's doable. Have a plan in place for when challenge comes up during your weak moment, and you would see how easy it is to get done. January does not go fast. I'm not going to lie to you and go, time goes quickly. No, January is actually one of the longest months in the year. It's not going to go quickly. As long as you're realistic with what you're getting into, i.e. with what the challenge is, be realistic with yourself, put things in place to prepare. It's very doable. Now, I know there's a downside to it, and like I said, we'll discuss it in towards the end of the month, but it's a very doable thing, and I think it's a great way to help you take control of your finances, especially at the beginning of the year. It's a great way to put good money habits in place to make it a default for the rest of the year. Let me know in the comment section if you're doing this, if you're joining us, because throughout the month, I'm going to be doing videos on this to help us through the month. But you can let me know what you're cutting out this month. Sometimes writing it down actually comes in handy. So don't write the whole list in the comment section. Write one or two things you're not buying and then write it out for yourself on a piece of paper in your journal. Sometimes writing it out is a good way to lock in. It's a good way to actually remind yourself what you're not buying. Think of your life, think of your spending habits, the things you love to buy. Think of, all the things you've been buying, the needs versus wants, and that will help you come up with what you're definitely not going to buy. All right. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye.